In a world that constantly urges us to do more, be more, and achieve more, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and lose sight of what truly matters. The pace of modern life pulls us in many directions, leaving little time to pause and reflect. The relentless chase for success, wealth, and recognition often consumes our thoughts and energy, leaving our minds clouded and our spirits disconnected from what truly brings us peace. We are bombarded daily with messages that suggest our worth is tied to external accomplishments, how much we own, how much we achieve, and how others perceive us. Social media, work environments, and societal norms reinforce the idea that we must constantly prove our value. These pressures can create a life centered around seeking validation and comparison, leaving little room for genuine fulfillment. But what if true fulfillment doesn't come from accumulation, validation, or endless striving? What if it lies in something simpler, yet infinitely more profound? Imagine a life where the pressures of external expectations fade into the background, replaced by a calm and unshakable sense of purpose. Imagine finding joy and peace in the present moment, unburdened by the need to meet arbitrary standards or earn others' approval. The path to a better, more peaceful, and authentic version of yourself doesn't require climbing higher or achieving more. Instead, it invites you to go deeper, to quiet the external noise, and to reconnect with the essence of who you truly are. This journey is not about adding more to your life, but about uncovering what is already within you, a sense of inner wisdom, clarity, and peace that has always been present, but is often overlooked. This is where the wisdom of Buddhism offers profound guidance. Rooted in centuries of teachings on mindfulness, compassion, and self-awareness, Buddhism provides a timeless roadmap for inner transformation. Unlike approaches that demand dramatic changes or impossible ideals, Buddhist teachings focus on cultivating everyday habits that create profound shifts in how you live, perceive, and engage with the world. Buddhism teaches that true happiness and fulfillment arise not from achieving external milestones, but from aligning with your inner values and understanding the nature of existence. Its practices encourage you to see life as it truly is, to embrace impermanence, and to cultivate compassion both for yourself and others. These teachings don't demand perfection or asceticism. Instead, they offer tools to help you live more mindfully and with greater clarity. Today, we'll explore 10 transformative Buddhist habits designed to guide you toward a more mindful, centered, and compassionate version of yourself. These habits aren't about striving for enlightenment in some distant future or reaching an idealized state of being. They're about making small, consistent changes in your everyday life. These changes are accessible to everyone, no matter where you are on your journey. By adopting these habits, you'll learn to let go of the distractions and pressures that pull you away from the present moment. You will discover the power of mindfulness, the freedom of non-attachment, and the joy of cultivating compassion. As you integrate these practices into your daily routine, you may begin to notice a profound shift, a sense of calm replacing the chaos, clarity emerging from confusion, and fulfillment arising from within rather than being sought outside yourself. These habits will help you build a foundation of inner peace, allowing you to navigate life's challenges with grace and purpose. They will guide you back to the stillness and wisdom that already reside within you, helping you find balance in a world that often feels unbalanced. Are you ready to begin this transformative journey? It's time to shift your focus from external validation to inner peace. It's time to stop chasing after things that don't truly matter, and instead cultivate habits that reconnect you with your inner essence. As you embark on this journey, know that transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process of small steps and consistent practice. These 10 Buddhist habits are not quick fixes. They are timeless practices that, when embraced, have the power to create lasting change. They are tools for grounding yourself in the present moment, fostering compassion, and aligning your life with the principles of mindfulness and wisdom. By embracing these habits, you can begin to let go of external distractions and reconnect with the essence of who you truly are. The journey will be unique to you, but the destination, a life of peace, balance, and purpose, is something we all aspire to. So, take a deep breath, Set your intention, and let's embark on this transformative path together. One step at a time, you'll learn to cultivate habits that support your inner growth and guide you toward a more peaceful and purposeful life. Let's begin. Habit 1. Focus on what you can control. One of the most liberating and transformative practices you can cultivate is the ability to focus solely on what lies within your control. In the teachings of Buddhism, this principle is deeply rooted in the philosophy of detachment, which emphasizes letting go of attachment to things that are beyond our influence. This habit is not about avoiding responsibility or ignoring the realities of life. Rather, it is about shifting your attention and energy toward what you can genuinely influence, your thoughts, actions, and responses. By doing so, you free yourself from the endless cycle of stress, frustration, and disappointment that often accompanies a desire to control the uncontrollable. Much of human suffering arises from our resistance to the natural flow of life. We often struggle against circumstances that we wish were different, attempting to impose our will on outcomes, people, and situations that are ultimately beyond our power to change. This resistance creates tension, anxiety, and a sense of helplessness, as we expend energy trying to force outcomes that are not within our grasp. Buddhism offers a profound alternative: the practice of acceptance. Accepting the things we cannot control does not mean giving up or resigning ourselves to passivity. Instead, it invites us to redirect our focus toward what truly matters: our own actions, thoughts, and emotional responses. For example, consider how you respond when someone treats you unkindly. You cannot control the actions or words of another person, but you have complete control over how you choose to respond. If someone insults you or criticizes you unfairly, your initial reaction might be to feel angry, defensive, or hurt. However, by practicing mindfulness and detachment, you can pause and reflect before reacting. Instead of allowing their words to dictate your emotions, you can choose to remain calm, composed, and grounded. You can remind yourself that their behavior reflects their state of mind, not your inherent worth. By refusing to take their actions personally, you preserve your inner peace and avoid being drawn into unnecessary conflict. This shift in focus, while subtle, is incredibly empowering. It teaches you that no matter what life throws your way, you always have the power to decide how you will respond. By concentrating on your own choices and letting go of the need to control external circumstances, you reclaim your sense of agency. You are no longer a victim of external forces, but an active participant in shaping your own experience. This practice fosters a profound sense of freedom and inner strength as you learn to navigate life with greater clarity and purpose. Focusing on what you can control also enhances your mental clarity. When you let go of worries about things that are beyond your influence, your mind becomes less cluttered and more focused. Instead of being consumed by hypothetical scenarios, regrets about the past, or anxieties about the future, you can direct your energy toward the present moment. This mental discipline allows you to approach challenges with a calm and centered mindset, enabling you to make thoughtful decisions and take meaningful actions. In addition to mental clarity, this habit cultivates emotional resilience. By consistently practicing detachment from external outcomes, you develop the ability to remain steady in the face of life's ups and downs. Whether you are dealing with setbacks, disappointments, or unexpected changes, focusing on what you can control helps you maintain your equilibrium. You recognize that while you cannot dictate every circumstance, you can always choose your attitude and approach. This perspective transforms challenges into opportunities for growth as you learn to adapt and respond with wisdom and grace. Another powerful benefit of this practice is the sense of peace it brings. When you stop trying to control everything and accept life's inherent uncertainties, you release a tremendous amount of mental and emotional tension. You no longer feel the need to micromanage every aspect of your life or worry about every possible outcome. Instead, you can trust in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. This trust, combined with the focus on your own actions and responses, creates a stable foundation of inner calm that carries you through even the most difficult times. This approach is not always easy, especially in a world that often encourages us to seek control and certainty. However, with consistent practice, it becomes a natural part of how you engage with life. Each time you catch yourself trying to control something outside your influence, you have the opportunity to pause, reflect, and redirect your energy. Over time, this habit becomes deeply ingrained, transforming the way you experience and respond to the world around you. In essence, focusing on what you can control is an act of self-empowerment. It allows you to take ownership of your life without being weighed down by factors beyond your reach. It encourages you to live with intention, making choices that align with your values and priorities. By embracing this habit, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering, foster resilience, and create a more peaceful and purposeful existence. This simple yet profound shift in perspective can fundamentally change the way you navigate life, helping you find greater clarity, balance, and fulfillment in every moment. Habit 2. Let go of caring what others think. One of the most liberating and transformative lessons from Buddhism is learning to let go of the need for approval from others. In our modern world, where external validation is often equated with success and self-worth, it's easy to become caught in the relentless pursuit of recognition. Whether it's through the likes and comments on social media, accolades and promotions at work, or the praise and acceptance we seek in personal relationships, this craving for validation becomes a defining aspect of our lives. From a young age, many of us are conditioned to believe that our value is determined by how others perceive us. We are taught to measure our worth based on external markers of approval, compliments, awards, achievements, and social acceptance. These external measures can feel gratifying in the moment, but they also create a fragile foundation for our sense of self. We begin to believe that our happiness and self-worth depend entirely on how others judge us. Buddha's teachings remind us that this constant craving for validation leads to suffering. When we tie our sense of self to the opinions of others, we relinquish control over our happiness and place it in the hands of people whose judgments are often inconsistent, subjective, and fleeting. This attachment to external approval creates an emotional roller coaster. When we are praised, we feel uplifted. When we are criticized, we feel diminished. The ups and downs of this cycle can leave us feeling unsteady, disconnected, and perpetually striving to prove ourselves. Buddhism offers an alternative: the practice of self-acceptance and detachment from external validation. True peace and happiness, the Buddha taught, do not come from the fleeting approval of others, but from within. They are rooted in the recognition of our inherent worth, which exists independently of any external measure. At its core, the desire for external validation stems from a fear of inadequacy, a deep-seated belief that we are not enough as we are. This fear drives us to seek approval as a way of affirming our worth. Yet, as the Buddha explained, this attachment to validation is rooted in ignorance of our true nature and intrinsic value. We mistakenly believe that our worth must be earned or confirmed by others, but in reality, it is something we already possess. When we let go of the need for external validation, we free ourselves from the control that others have over our happiness. This practice invites us to turn inward, to cultivate a sense of self-worth that is unshakable and not dependent on outside opinions. As we begin to release this need, we discover the profound freedom of living authentically, guided by our own principles, values, and inner wisdom, rather than by the expectations or judgments of others. Living authentically requires an important realization. Everyone views the world through their own unique lens, shaped by their experiences, biases, and beliefs. People's opinions of you are not objective truths. They are reflections of their own perspectives and preferences. No matter how much you try, you cannot please everyone, because people's judgments are often contradictory and influenced by factors beyond your control. One person may admire your confidence, seeing it as a sign of strength and self-assurance. Another may perceive that same confidence as arrogance or pride. Someone might value your quiet nature as a sign of wisdom, while another may interpret it as aloofness or insecurity. Recognizing this inconsistency is liberating because it helps you understand that other people's opinions say more about them than about you. With this understanding, you can begin to detach from the need for approval and focus instead on what truly matters. Living in alignment with your own values, pursuing your growth, and being true to yourself. This shift allows you to reclaim your power, as you no longer allow others' perceptions to dictate your sense of self. At the heart of this practice is self-acceptance, which is the foundation of inner peace. Self-acceptance is not about complacency or ignoring areas where you wish to grow. Instead, it's about embracing who you are in the present moment, imperfections and all. It's about recognizing your inherent worth and understanding that you don't need to prove anything to anyone in order to be deserving of love, respect, and kindness, including your own. When you practice self-acceptance, you develop a grounded and centered sense of self. You no longer feel the need to chase after others' approval because you already trust in your own wisdom and capabilities. This inner strength creates a deep sense of clarity and purpose, allowing you to navigate life's challenges without being swayed by external opinions. The more you cultivate self-acceptance, the more resilient you become to criticism and the less dependent you are on praise. You learn to value yourself not for how others see you, but for the qualities you know to be true: your kindness, integrity, perseverance, and authenticity. This shift is profoundly liberating, as it allows you to engage with the world on your own terms, rather than constantly seeking permission or validation from others. By letting go of the need for approval, you create space to live a life that feels meaningful and aligned with your deepest values. You discover the joy of living authentically, free from the constraints of others' expectations. You also cultivate more genuine relationships, as you no longer feel the need to mold yourself to fit other standards. Instead, you can show up as your true self, fostering connections based on mutual respect and authenticity. This practice is not something that happens overnight. It is a gradual process of unlearning old patterns and building a new foundation of self-worth. Each time you notice yourself seeking validation, you have an opportunity to pause, reflect, and remind yourself of your intrinsic value. Over time, this practice becomes second nature, freeing you from the emotional roller coaster of external validation and bringing you closer to a life of true inner peace and fulfillment. Through self-acceptance and the release of external approval, you step into a life of freedom, authenticity, and joy. You learn to trust yourself, value your unique path, and embrace the person you are meant to be. This shift not only transforms your relationship with yourself, but also allows you to show up more fully and compassionately in your relationships with others, creating a ripple effect of peace and connection in the world around you. Habit 3. Build mental strength. Building mental strength is a cornerstone of Buddhist teachings, but it's not about suppressing your emotions or enduring life's difficulties with stoic detachment. Instead, it is about cultivating resilience, clarity, and wisdom in the face of life's inevitable challenges. The Buddha taught that suffering is an inherent part of existence, but it is how we respond to suffering that determines the state of our mind and the quality of our life. This understanding forms the foundation of mental strength as taught in Buddhism. Mental strength begins with recognizing the impermanence of all things. Emotions, experiences, and even the most trying circumstances are transient. They arise, exist for a time, and eventually fade away. This realization allows us to approach life's difficulties with equanimity, a balanced and composed state of mind. By understanding that no situation or feeling is permanent, we free ourselves from the need to cling to the pleasant or resist the unpleasant. Instead, we can face challenges with calm acceptance, knowing they too will pass. Rather than avoiding or resisting suffering, Buddhism invites us to confront it directly with mindfulness and openness. Avoidance only amplifies our pain, while resistance creates tension and frustration. When we observe our emotions without judgment or attachment, we develop the ability to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. This shift from reactive to mindful living is one of the most transformative aspects of building mental strength. At the heart of this process is mindfulness, which serves as a cornerstone for cultivating resilience. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment, aware of your thoughts, emotions, and bodily sensations without judgment. It allows you to create a space between the challenges you face and the way you respond to them. For example, imagine a situation where you feel anger rising within you. Perhaps someone has spoken to you harshly or acted in a way that feels unfair. Your immediate reaction might be to lash out or harbor resentment, but mindfulness offers another path. By pausing to observe the anger, its physical sensations, its triggers, and its transient nature, you create a moment of choice. Instead of acting on the anger, you can choose a calm, constructive response that de-escalates the situation and preserves your peace of mind. This ability to pause is one of the simplest yet most profound practices for building mental strength. When faced with a challenge, taking a moment to step back, breathe, and reflect creates a buffer between the event and your reaction. This pause disrupts the cycle of habitual reactions, allowing you to respond with intention and clarity. Over time, the habit of pausing becomes second nature, transforming the way you engage with difficulties. Developing emotional awareness is another essential component of mental strength. Difficult emotions like fear, sadness, or frustration are often seen as obstacles to overcome. But Buddhism teaches us to view them as opportunities for learning and growth. Rather than pushing these emotions away or judging ourselves for experiencing them, we are encouraged to explore them with curiosity and compassion. When a challenging emotion arises, ask yourself, what is this emotion trying to teach me? What need, fear, or belief is underlying it? For instance, fear might signal a desire for security, while sadness might indicate a need for connection or acceptance. By approaching emotions in this way, you gain insight into your inner world and begin to understand the patterns that drive your reactions. This awareness helps you address the root causes of your emotions rather than merely dealing with their surface expressions. As you build this practice of emotional awareness, you strengthen your capacity to remain steady in the face of life's ups and downs. You no longer feel the need to suppress or avoid difficult emotions because you understand they are natural and temporary. Instead, you develop the resilience to experience them fully, learn from them, and let them pass without being consumed by them. This resilience extends beyond your inner world to how you engage with the challenges of daily life. When unexpected setbacks or obstacles arise, the mental strength you've cultivated through mindfulness, emotional awareness, and the practice of pausing allows you to face them with grace and wisdom. Instead of reacting impulsively, you can assess the situation calmly and determine the best course of action. This thoughtful approach not only reduces stress, but also enables you to find solutions that align with your values and long-term goals. Over time, this way of living transforms your relationship with challenges. You begin to see difficulties not as threats or failures, but as opportunities to grow stronger and wiser. Each challenge becomes a stepping stone on the path to greater self-awareness and inner peace. Mental strength, as taught in Buddhism, is not about eliminating suffering or achieving perfection. It's about cultivating the tools to navigate life's inevitable difficulties with equanimity and insight. Through mindfulness, emotional awareness, and the simple but profound act of pausing, you develop a mind that is resilient, flexible, and deeply rooted in the present moment. This journey is not without effort, but the rewards are immeasurable. As you build mental strength, you gain a sense of freedom from the reactive patterns that once controlled your life. You learn to respond to challenges with clarity and compassion, creating a life of greater balance and fulfillment. And perhaps most importantly, you discover that within you lies an unshakable source of peace, ready to guide you through whatever life may bring. Habit 4. Embrace obstacles as opportunities. In Buddhist philosophy, obstacles are not merely roadblocks to overcome or barriers standing in the way of our progress. Instead, they are seen as profound teachers, offering us lessons that shape our growth and transformation. Life, by its very nature, is filled with challenges. From the minor frustrations of daily life to the more profound difficulties of loss, illness, or unfulfilled desires, obstacles are an inevitable part of the human experience. Yet, It is not the obstacles themselves that cause us to suffer, it is our resistance to them. The Buddhist teachings emphasize that suffering arises when we cling to the belief that life should always be smooth and free of hardship. The First Noble Truth reminds us that difficulties are inherent in life. However, Buddhism offers a transformative perspective. Instead of viewing obstacles as hindrances or sources of frustration, we can embrace them as opportunities for self-discovery and growth. Obstacles are not there to derail us. They are there to teach us. This shift in perspective begins with accepting that obstacles are a natural part of life's flow. Just as rivers encounter rocks and trees endure storms, our paths are also marked by moments of challenge. When we resist these challenges, wishing they didn't exist or trying to avoid them entirely, we create additional suffering for ourselves. Resistance breeds frustration, anxiety, and a sense of helplessness. Acceptance, on the other hand, opens the door to peace. By acknowledging that obstacles are an integral part of life, we can approach them with openness and curiosity. Every obstacle holds within it the potential to teach us something valuable. When faced with a challenge, the key is to pause and ask, what is the situation teaching me? What can I learn about myself through this experience? This practice transforms the way we engage with difficulties, allowing us to see them not as threats but as opportunities to grow. For instance, imagine encountering a difficult situation at work, such as a demanding project with tight deadlines. At first, you might feel overwhelmed, frustrated, or even resentful. But if you shift your perspective, you may begin to see this challenge as an opportunity to develop patience and resilience. You might discover new strengths within yourself, such as the ability to work collaboratively under pressure or to find creative solutions to problems. Similarly, personal conflicts often feel like obstacles we'd rather avoid. Arguments with loved ones or misunderstandings with friends can be deeply uncomfortable, triggering feelings of anger, sadness, or defensiveness. However, these moments are also rich with potential for growth. A disagreement can teach you valuable lessons in empathy, communication, and forgiveness. It can reveal areas where you need to practice patience or let go of ego-driven attachments. By approaching conflict with a willingness to learn rather than a need to win, you create the space for healing and deeper connection. The process of embracing obstacles as opportunities requires mindfulness and self-awareness. Mindfulness allows you to step back from your immediate reactions, whether they are frustration, fear, or anger, and observe the situation with clarity. Instead of being swept away by emotional turbulence, mindfulness creates a pause where you can reflect and choose how to respond. This pause is powerful. It's the moment where transformation begins. When you encounter an obstacle, take a breath and ask yourself, how can I grow from this experience? What qualities is this challenge asking me to cultivate? Patience, resilience, compassion, or adaptability. Each obstacle, no matter how small or large, invites you to strengthen an aspect of yourself. Over time, this practice reshapes your relationship with difficulties. You begin to see that life's challenges are not interruptions to your journey, but essential elements of it. They are the moments that refine your character, deepen your wisdom, and expand your capacity for empathy. Obstacles become stepping stones, guiding you toward a greater understanding of yourself and the world around you. This perspective doesn't mean that obstacles will cease to be uncomfortable or that you won't feel frustration or sadness in the face of hardship. Those emotions are natural and valid. However, by embracing challenges as opportunities for growth, you cultivate the resilience to face them with grace and courage. You learn to navigate life's ups and downs with a steady heart and an open mind, knowing that each experience is part of your journey toward greater wisdom and peace. Ultimately, the practice of seeing obstacles as opportunities transforms your life. Instead of fearing or avoiding challenges, you approach them with curiosity and a sense of purpose. You begin to trust that every difficulty, no matter how daunting, carries within it the seeds of growth. With this mindset, life becomes not a series of problems to be solved, but a continuous process of learning, evolving, and awakening. Habit 5. Cultivate patience. Patience is one of the most profound and dynamic practices in Buddhism. It is often misunderstood as a passive state of merely waiting for things to change or time to pass. But in the Buddhist context, patience is far from passive. It is an active, engaged presence with the current moment. It requires awareness, mindfulness, and a deep commitment to embracing life's difficulties with grace and understanding. Patience allows us to endure the inevitable struggles and hardships that come with being human, and more than that, it enables us to transform these very moments of suffering into opportunities for mindfulness, self-awareness, and spiritual growth. Instead of seeing challenges as obstacles or burdens, patience teaches us to approach them as invitations to cultivate inner peace and wisdom. In a world where instant gratification and quick solutions are often sought after, patience is a radical act. It is not simply about waiting for something to change or end, but about cultivating a steady, composed presence as we navigate life's inevitable ebb and flow. This presence allows us to remain grounded in the face of adversity, knowing that, just as all things are temporary, so too will our difficulties pass. Patience is about accepting the present moment in all of its complexities, whether it is filled with joy, sorrow, or frustration, and choosing to engage with it fully rather than resisting or trying to escape from it. This mindset helps us build resilience in the face of life's challenges and strengthens our ability to meet each moment with clarity, compassion, and wisdom. One of the most important aspects of patience in Buddhism is understanding that life's difficulties are not meant to be avoided or eliminated, but rather embraced and understood. The Buddhist teachings remind us that suffering, in one form or another, is an inevitable part of the human experience. The First Noble Truth teaches us that life includes hardship, whether through physical pain, emotional distress, loss, or unmet desires. However, it is not the mere presence of suffering that causes us to struggle. It is our resistance to it. Our desire to avoid pain or discomfort often creates more suffering than the situation itself. Patience, therefore, is the antidote to this resistance. It is the ability to accept suffering without allowing it to overwhelm us, to face life's difficulties with courage and a calm heart. This kind of patience allows us to endure hardship without losing our inner peace. Patience also plays a crucial role in how we relate to others. In our interactions with people, it can be easy to become frustrated or impatient when others behave in ways that challenge us. Whether it's a colleague who seems difficult to work with, a friend who repeatedly disappoints us, or a family member who triggers old wounds, patience with others is a vital practice in cultivating loving kindness and compassion. Responding to others with patience doesn't mean tolerating hurtful behavior or ignoring the need for healthy boundaries, but it does mean approaching others with empathy, understanding, and an open heart. When we practice patience with others, we recognize that everyone is on their own path, dealing with their own struggles, fears, and limitations. Instead of reacting impulsively or judgmentally, patience allows us to step back, observe the situation, and respond from a place of calm and understanding. It helps us to see others as they are, without overlaying our own expectations, and enables us to build deeper, more compassionate relationships. Another form of patience that is essential in Buddhism is patience with the truth. Life is unpredictable, and things don't always go according to plan. People may let us down, and situations may unfold in ways we don't expect or desire. Patience with the truth is the practice of accepting life's unpredictability and trusting in the natural rhythm of things. It involves surrendering the need for control and learning to trust that everything unfolds as it should, even if we don't always understand why or how. When we cultivate patience with the truth, we learn to embrace uncertainty, accepting that we cannot control everything in our lives. This kind of patience requires deep trust in the process of life, understanding that there is wisdom and growth to be found even in the midst of the unknown. It is through this acceptance of life's natural flow that we find peace, knowing that, like the changing seasons, all things are temporary and ever-evolving. Through the cultivation of patience, we gradually build resilience and emotional strength. Life's challenges, rather than breaking us down, become opportunities for growth and transformation. Patience allows us to face each moment with a sense of equanimity, knowing that whatever comes our way, we have the capacity to meet it with wisdom and grace. It is through patience that we develop the ability to stay present, even in the midst of discomfort, and to transform our experience of suffering into an opportunity for mindfulness. As we practice patience, we learn to cultivate a deeper appreciation for the present moment. We become more attuned to the fleeting nature of life, more aware of the preciousness of each moment, and more connected to the underlying peace that resides within us. Patience is not just a passive acceptance of things as they are. It is an active engagement with life, allowing us to grow, heal, and find deeper meaning in every experience. The practice of patience is not always easy, and it does not come naturally to everyone. It requires effort, mindfulness, and the willingness to face discomfort without turning away from it. However, the rewards of patience are immeasurable. By cultivating patience, we free ourselves from the grip of frustration, anger, and impatience, and we open ourselves to a life of greater peace, understanding, and compassion. Patience is a gift we give ourselves and others, a powerful tool for navigating the ups and downs of life with grace, resilience, and wisdom. It is through patience that we transform our relationship with ourselves, with others, and with the world, and ultimately find a deeper sense of fulfillment and inner peace. Habit 6. Live simply and mindfully. In a world that is increasingly driven by consumption, where the desire for more seems to be an ever-present force, Buddhism offers a powerful and transformative alternative: the practice of living simply and mindfully. In a society that often associates fulfillment with acquiring more material possessions, achievements, and external validation, the Buddhist path teaches that true peace and contentment are found not in accumulating more, but in letting go of excess and focusing on what truly matters. Living simply, according to Buddhist teachings, is not about deprivation or renouncing all worldly possessions, but rather about making space for mindfulness, peace, and a deeper connection to the present moment. It is an invitation to embrace a way of life that is free from the distractions of unnecessary desires, allowing us to cultivate an inner life that is rich with meaning and purpose. At its core, simplicity is a practice of detachment from the cycle of desire, which is often identified as the root cause of suffering. The Buddha taught that craving and attachment, our tendency to grasp at things, whether they be physical possessions, achievements, or even emotions, are the primary sources of suffering in our lives. The more we chase after external validation and the fleeting joys of material accumulation, the more we feed the cycle of desire that keeps us bound to dissatisfaction. By simplifying our lives, we break free from this cycle and learn to find contentment in the present moment. Rather than seeking fulfillment from external sources, we turn inward, cultivating a sense of peace that is not dependent on what we have or what we do, but on how we experience the world around us. Living simply enables us to focus on what truly nourishes our soul. It allows us to direct our attention to the things that are truly important: meaningful relationships, personal growth, spiritual development, and our connection to the world around us. It helps us shift from the endless pursuit of external validation to the cultivation of inner peace. Instead of measuring our worth by what others think or by what we accumulate, we learn to align our lives with our deepest values. Simplicity allows us to experience life more fully, to appreciate the present moment without the constant pressure to acquire more or become more. It is through this process of simplifying that we create space for mindfulness, allowing us to engage more deeply with ourselves and the world in a way that is grounded in clarity and understanding. One of the most practical applications of this principle is physical decluttering. The state of our physical environment often reflects the state of our mind. A cluttered, disorganized space can lead to a cluttered, distracted mind, filled with stress, anxiety, and a sense of overwhelm. When we simplify our external surroundings, we also begin to create a sense of order and peace within ourselves. Decluttering is not just about getting rid of things. It is about evaluating what we truly need and value, and letting go of the rest. This process involves asking ourselves what truly serves a purpose or brings joy, and removing items that no longer align with our current values or that no longer serve us. By simplifying our environment, we create a peaceful space that nurtures mindfulness and focus, allowing us to direct our energy toward what truly matters. A simplified environment supports clarity of thought, helping us to focus on the present moment rather than being distracted by unnecessary possessions or obligations. This peaceful space invites mindfulness, allowing us to engage more fully in our daily lives. When we create an environment that reflects our deeper values, one that is free from excess and clutter, we create an atmosphere that supports our emotional and spiritual growth. This process of physical decluttering is an outward manifestation of our inner journey toward simplicity and mindfulness. It is a way of clearing away distractions, making space for what truly matters. Simplicity, however, is not only about decluttering the physical space around us. It extends deeply into our mental and emotional lives. Our minds, too, often become cluttered with worries, regrets, and desires, making it difficult to experience peace and clarity. Mental clutter is a common phenomenon. We frequently find ourselves ruminating on the past, worrying about the future, or endlessly chasing after desires that seem just out of reach. This mental noise can overwhelm us, preventing us from experiencing the present moment fully. Through the practice of mindfulness meditation, we can learn to quiet this mental clutter, letting go of thoughts that no longer serve us and returning to the simplicity of the present moment. Mindfulness meditation teaches us to observe our thoughts without attachment or judgment, to notice when our minds begin to wander into the past or future, and gently bring ourselves back to the here and now. When we catch ourselves ruminating on past events or worrying about future possibilities, we can pause, take a deep breath, and return to the present moment. By practicing mental decluttering, we create space for gratitude, clarity, and a deeper connection to the present. We learn to let go of unnecessary thoughts and emotions that keep us trapped in cycles of stress, regret, or longing, and instead cultivate a sense of presence and peace that is rooted in the here and now. This practice of mental decluttering is a key aspect of living simply and mindfully. It is about cultivating the ability to focus on what is truly important and letting go of the distractions that pull us away from the present moment. As we release unnecessary thoughts, worries, and attachments, we open up space for greater clarity, creativity, and inner peace. The more we practice mental decluttering, the more we are able to engage with life in a mindful, intentional way, free from the noise of the past and future. In conclusion, living simply and mindfully is a profound practice that invites us to let go of excess and to focus on what truly nourishes our soul. It is a path of liberation from the cycle of desire and attachment, offering us the opportunity to cultivate deeper peace, clarity, and connection with ourselves and the world around us. By simplifying both our external environments and our inner landscapes, we create space for mindfulness and presence, allowing us to experience life more fully and with greater intention. Simplicity is not a rejection of the world or of material possessions, but a conscious choice to prioritize what truly matters and to engage with life in a way that aligns with our deepest values. Through this practice, we find freedom, peace, and contentment in the present moment. Habit 7. Give without expectation. Generosity, or dana, is one of the most foundational virtues in Buddhism, embodying the heart of compassion and kindness. It is an act of the heart, not just a transaction of material goods. True generosity goes beyond giving away physical possessions. It is about sharing ourselves, our time, attention, love, and care without expecting anything in return. This form of generosity stems from a deep understanding that the act of giving is itself a source of joy and fulfillment. It is not tied to the expectation of recognition, reward, or gratitude, but flows from a genuine desire to help, support, and uplift others. In this way, generosity becomes a powerful practice of mindfulness, compassion, and spiritual growth. One of the essential teachings in Buddhism is that when we give with the expectation of recognition or gratitude, our actions are entangled with the ego. We begin to seek approval or validation, and our giving becomes less about the recipient and more about ourselves. True generosity, however, arises when we release this attachment to the outcome. It becomes an act of giving for the sake of giving, without any expectation of what we might receive in return, whether it be material rewards, praise, or even gratitude. When we give simply because it is the right thing to do, we begin to experience the profound freedom that comes with selflessness. Generosity, in this sense, is a practice that loosens the grip of the ego, helping us cultivate a heart that is open and unburdened by self-centered desires. This freedom is not just for the recipient of the gift, but for the giver as well, who experiences a deeper sense of inner peace and fulfillment by giving without attachment. One of the most transformative aspects of generosity is its ability to shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance. In a world where we are often taught to hoard, protect, and secure resources for ourselves, generosity challenges the belief that there is never enough to go around. It helps us break free from the fear of lack that dominates much of our thinking. When we give, whether it is time, money, a kind word, or a listening ear, we affirm the truth that there is always enough to share. In every moment, there is something we can offer, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. By practicing generosity, we remind ourselves that we are part of a larger, interconnected whole. Our giving becomes an expression of the abundance of life itself. And in sharing, we experience the joy and peace that comes from knowing we are contributing to something much greater than ourselves. This shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance is not just about material wealth. Generosity can be expressed in countless ways that are not tied to money or possessions. Offering our time, patience, compassion, and attention is just as powerful a form of generosity as giving physical gifts. In fact, some of the most meaningful acts of generosity, such as lending an empathetic ear or offering a word of encouragement, require no material resources at all. By shifting our mindset, we begin to understand that we are always in a position to give, and that our giving is not diminished by our circumstances, but is instead a reflection of the infinite abundance available to us, both inside and outside ourselves. However, it is essential to practice generosity in a way that maintains balance. Giving should never lead to self-sacrifice or depletion. True generosity arises not from a place of lack or obligation, but from a place of inner contentment and well-being. When we give from a place of abundance, whether that abundance is physical, emotional, or spiritual, we are able to offer what we have without depleting ourselves. The act of giving, rather than draining us, becomes a source of replenishment. Just as a stream continues to flow because it is constantly replenished by a greater source, our acts of generosity replenish our hearts and spirits. When we give mindfully, we find that the more we share, the more we receive, not in material terms, but in the form of greater peace, joy, and connection. The balance of generosity also includes recognizing when it is appropriate to give and when it is necessary to conserve our energy. This does not mean withholding kindness or generosity, but practicing discernment. Generosity is most effective when it comes from a place of clarity and intention, rather than obligation or guilt. Giving should never feel like a burden, nor should it deplete us to the point where we have nothing left to give. By practicing mindfulness and self-awareness, we can ensure that our generosity is balanced, sustainable, and nourishing both for ourselves and for those we seek to help. True generosity, then, is not about giving everything we have to others, but about offering what we can from a place of abundance and inner peace. When practiced mindfully, generosity creates harmony within ourselves and with others. It fosters a sense of interconnectedness, where the giver and receiver are both transformed by the exchange. Through generosity, we cultivate an open heart and a spirit of compassion, and we experience the profound joy that comes from giving freely without attachment. As we continue to practice generosity, we come to see that it is not just a virtue to be practiced occasionally, but a way of life, a constant reminder that we are all connected, and that in giving, we find our deepest sense of purpose and fulfillment. Habit 8. Release negative thoughts. Negative thoughts are a natural part of the human experience, yet they can often cloud our perception, distort our reality, and disrupt our inner peace. Whether these thoughts arise from fear, anger, jealousy, self-doubt, or frustration, they have the power to take over our minds and influence our emotions. In Buddhism, we are taught not to become ensnared by these thoughts, but to recognize and release them. By learning how to detach from negative thinking patterns, we create space within ourselves for clarity, wisdom, and peace. This practice, which is fundamental to the path of mindfulness and enlightenment, helps us transform our mental landscape and regain control over our emotional well-being. The first step in releasing negative thoughts is becoming aware of them. Oftentimes, negative thoughts arise so quickly and automatically that we don't even notice them. They can feel as though they define us, shaping our beliefs and actions. Mindfulness, however, teaches us to observe our thoughts as they arise without judgment or attachment. Instead of identifying with a thought, we begin to recognize it as just a passing mental event, an occurrence that arises, stays for a moment, and then fades away. When we observe our thoughts with this kind of detached awareness, we create space between ourselves and the thought, giving us the freedom to choose whether to hold on to it or let it go. Imagine your mind as the sky and your thoughts as passing clouds. Sometimes, the sky is filled with dark, stormy clouds, while other times it is clear and calm. Similarly, our thoughts can be heavy, turbulent, and negative, or light, peaceful, and positive. The key to managing negative thoughts is to see them as temporary, impermanent events, just like the clouds in the sky. They will pass in due time, and the sky will eventually clear. This perspective allows us to detach from the negativity and not let it take root in our minds. Rather than becoming consumed by our thoughts or letting them dictate our emotions, we learn to let them float by without attaching any lasting significance to them. Buddhism teaches that all things, including thoughts, are impermanent. This principle of impermanence, known as anicca, reminds us that nothing in life, including our mental states, is fixed or permanent. A negative thought may feel overwhelming in the moment, but it is not a permanent part of us. Thoughts come and go. They are not definitive truths about who we are. By understanding the impermanent nature of thoughts, we develop the ability to let go of thoughts that no longer serve us. Just as a storm eventually passes, so too will the negative thought. And when we allow it to pass without clinging to it, we regain our sense of inner peace. Another critical aspect of releasing negative thoughts is replacing them with positive or constructive ones. When we become aware of a negative thought, instead of allowing it to spiral into more negativity or self-doubt, we can choose to counter it with a more positive and empowering thought. For example, if we catch ourselves thinking, "I'm not good enough," we can replace it with, "I am growing," and "I am capable." This shift in thinking helps us reframe our internal dialogue, turning it from self-criticism and negativity to compassion, understanding, and self-acceptance. This practice is in alignment with the Buddhist concept of right thought from the Eightfold Path, which teaches that cultivating positive and skillful thoughts is essential to living a wholesome and mindful life. This process of replacing negativity with positive intentions is not about ignoring or suppressing our emotions or concerns, but about transforming our mental patterns to support our growth and well-being. Negative thoughts are often rooted in fear, insecurity, or misunderstanding. But by replacing them with more constructive thoughts, we gradually rewire our thinking to reflect the truth of our potential, compassion, and wisdom. Over time, as we practice this shift, we move away from habitual negative thinking and towards a more balanced, compassionate, and optimistic mindset. The act of releasing negative thoughts and replacing them with positive ones also helps us cultivate a deeper sense of self-awareness. We begin to recognize the patterns of our thoughts, how they arise, how they influence our emotions, and how they shape our perceptions of the world. With this awareness, we can take conscious action to break free from the grip of negativity and cultivate a mind that is more peaceful, balanced, and present. By consistently practicing mindfulness and replacing negativity with positive intentions, we nurture a mental environment that is conducive to growth, healing, and wisdom. In the Buddhist tradition, the practice of releasing negative thoughts is not just about silencing the mind, but about transforming the mind itself. It is about cultivating a mindset that reflects the values of compassion, kindness, and understanding. As we let go of negative thoughts, we create space for deeper insight, clarity, and peace. This practice helps us navigate the challenges of life with greater resilience, grace, and wisdom, and ultimately leads us to a more fulfilling and meaningful existence. Through mindfulness and conscious thought, we can break free from the cycle of negativity and open ourselves to the limitless possibilities of the present moment. Habit 9. Develop a daily meditation practice. Meditation is a cornerstone of Buddhist practice, and it stands as one of the most transformative habits one can develop. In Buddhism, meditation is not merely a technique for relaxation, but a profound tool for training the mind, cultivating mindfulness, and connecting with our deeper selves. It provides a dedicated space to quiet the mind, step back from the noise of the world, and foster a sense of inner peace. The power of meditation lies in its ability to bring awareness to the present moment, helping us navigate life's challenges with clarity, equanimity, and compassion. In the Buddhist tradition, meditation is not just a practice to calm the mind, but a means of training the mind to see clearly and perceive the world as it truly is. It is a tool for fostering insight and understanding, enabling us to eliminate the root causes of suffering. These causes, such as craving, attachment, and ignorance, keep us trapped in cycles of dissatisfaction and emotional turmoil. Through meditation, we can begin to unravel these deep-seated patterns, replacing them with awareness, peace, and wisdom. Whether practiced through mindfulness, loving-kindness, or insight meditation, each form of meditation offers profound benefits, not only for mental clarity and emotional resilience, but also for spiritual growth and personal transformation. Mindfulness meditation, one of the most widely practiced forms, involves sitting quietly, focusing on the breath, and observing thoughts, emotions, and physical sensations without attachment or judgment. The goal of mindfulness meditation is not to eliminate thoughts or suppress emotions, but to develop the ability to observe them objectively, recognizing them as temporary mental events that come and go. This practice fosters a deep awareness of the present moment, helping us detach from the constant mental chatter that often pulls us away from the here and now. In mindfulness meditation, we learn to witness the flow of thoughts and feelings without getting entangled in them, allowing us to cultivate a sense of calm and stability. Over time, the practice of mindfulness meditation enhances our ability to respond thoughtfully to life's challenges, rather than reacting impulsively or emotionally. It allows us to pause before acting, creating space between stimulus and response. This mental space gives us the opportunity to choose our actions consciously, rather than being swept away by habitual reactions. Through regular practice, mindfulness meditation strengthens our emotional resilience, helping us maintain balance even in stressful or difficult situations. The more we practice, the more natural it becomes to remain grounded and centered, no matter what arises. Another powerful form of meditation in Buddhism is loving-kindness meditation, also known as metta meditation. This practice involves silently repeating phrases such as, "May I be happy, may I be healthy," and gradually extending these well wishes to others, including loved ones, acquaintances, strangers, and even people we may find difficult. Loving-kindness meditation is a practice of opening the heart, cultivating goodwill, compassion, and empathy for ourselves and all beings. By focusing on positive intentions and extending loving kindness to others, we gradually dissolve barriers of judgment, fear, and separation, promoting a sense of interconnectedness with all living beings. The beauty of loving-kindness meditation lies in its ability to deepen our emotional and spiritual connection to the world around us. As we practice, we learn to see others with more compassion, understanding that we are all subject to the same universal experiences of suffering and joy. Loving-kindness meditation also has the transformative effect of healing the heart, reducing feelings of anger, resentment, and isolation, and fostering a sense of warmth and goodwill. It encourages us to embody the qualities of kindness and compassion in our daily interactions, cultivating a peaceful and harmonious presence wherever we go. Both mindfulness meditation and loving-kindness meditation while distinct in their approach, are intertwined practices that work together to promote mental clarity, emotional healing, and spiritual growth. Mindfulness meditation offers a way to cultivate awareness and presence, grounding us in the moment and freeing us from the distractions of the mind. Loving kindness meditation, on the other hand, softens the heart, expanding our capacity for love, empathy, and connection. Together, they provide a holistic approach to spiritual practice, nourishing both the mind and the heart. Developing a daily meditation practice is one of the most impactful habits we can cultivate on the path to personal transformation. It is not about achieving perfection or reaching a specific goal, but about showing up every day with an open mind and a willingness to be present. Meditation is a practice of patience, consistency, and self-compassion. Each time we sit to meditate, we are taking a step toward greater self-awareness and inner peace. As we continue to practice, we begin to notice subtle shifts in our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Over time, meditation becomes a way of life, not just something we do in isolation, but a lens through which we experience the world and interact with others. By incorporating meditation into our daily routine, we create space for reflection, stillness, and deep connection with our true selves. It helps us cultivate a sense of balance, inner peace, and resilience that supports us through life's ups and downs. Meditation provides a refuge in times of stress and uncertainty, a tool for deepening our understanding of the world, and a path toward greater wisdom, compassion, and joy. It is a transformative practice that, when committed to daily, enriches every aspect of our lives, enabling us to live with greater clarity, compassion, and a profound sense of interconnectedness. Habit 10. Practice gratitude daily. Gratitude is a transformative and powerful practice in Buddhism that shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already have. In a world that often emphasizes wanting more, seeking fulfillment in external achievements or possessions, gratitude invites us to pause and appreciate the abundance that already exists in our lives. By consciously acknowledging the blessings, whether large or small, we cultivate a deep sense of contentment and joy that nourishes our hearts and minds. This practice doesn't just enhance our personal well-being, but also strengthens our connection to the world around us, deepening our awareness of the interconnectedness of all things. In Buddhist teachings, gratitude is closely tied to mindfulness and the recognition of interdependence. Through the practice of mindfulness, we become present to the countless ways in which we are supported by others, nature, and the universe itself. From the food we eat to the shelter we have, from the kindness of a friend to the opportunities for growth that arise in our lives, gratitude helps us recognize the web of interdependent relationships that sustain us. The more we practice gratitude, the more we see how every moment of our lives is interconnected with the actions, efforts, and generosity of others, whether they are near or far. Gratitude, in this sense, becomes not just a practice of thankfulness, but a recognition of the ongoing flow of life that sustains us all. A daily practice of gratitude helps to anchor us in the present moment and encourages a shift in our perception, rather than focusing on what is missing or what we lack. Gratitude invites us to appreciate what we already have, fostering an attitude of abundance and appreciation. One of the most simple yet effective ways to begin cultivating gratitude is through morning reflection. Each day, take a few moments to pause and list 3 things you are grateful for. These can be big or small: a loving family, good health, a peaceful morning, or the warmth of the sun on your face. This simple act of reflection sets a positive tone for the day and grounds you in a mindset of appreciation. By starting your day with gratitude, you prepare your mind and heart to encounter challenges with a sense of balance, positivity, and grace. In addition to morning reflection, keeping a gratitude journal can be a powerful tool to deepen your practice. A gratitude journal allows you to track moments of thankfulness throughout the day, whether they are moments of beauty, kindness, or personal growth. At the end of each day, reflect on what you are grateful for, no matter how small or fleeting. Over time, you will begin to notice a shift in your mindset, where you focus more on the blessings in your life than on what you feel you are missing. This habit strengthens the muscle of appreciation and creates a daily ritual of acknowledging the good in your life. As you read through past entries, you may be surprised by how many blessings you have overlooked in the moment, bringing further appreciation for the present. Mindful acknowledgement of gratitude is another key aspect of this practice. Throughout the day, pause for brief moments of reflection and take notice of the sources of your joy and comfort. This could be a kind word from a colleague, the nourishment of a delicious meal, the beauty of nature, or the support of a loved one. These moments are often fleeting, and without mindfulness, they can pass by unnoticed. By intentionally pausing and acknowledging these moments of gratitude, you deepen your awareness of the richness of your daily life. Gratitude, when practiced mindfully, helps us connect to the present moment and experience life more fully. One of the most powerful aspects of gratitude is its ability to act as a remedy for negative emotions. Emotions such as envy, resentment, frustration, or sadness often arise when we focus on what we do not have, what we have lost, or what others possess. Gratitude, on the other hand, shifts our focus to the abundance we already enjoy. When we actively practice gratitude, it becomes harder to dwell on what we lack. Instead of feeling dissatisfied with what is missing, we begin to appreciate what is already present. Even in the most challenging of circumstances, gratitude helps us reframe our perceptions, replacing negativity with appreciation and fostering a deeper sense of peace and contentment. Furthermore, the ripple effect of gratitude extends beyond ourselves. While the practice of gratitude benefits us individually, it also strengthens our relationships and our connection to others. When we express gratitude to others, whether through a simple thank you, a heartfelt compliment, or a genuine acknowledgement of their efforts, we contribute to a culture of kindness and respect. Gratitude enhances our relationships, fosters mutual respect, and encourages positive interaction, creating an environment of warmth and understanding. Acknowledging the efforts of others with sincerity not only uplifts their spirits, but also deepens our sense of interconnectedness with them, reminding us that our lives are enriched by the kindness and generosity of others. In the Buddhist tradition, gratitude is a spiritual practice that transcends mere politeness or social convention. It is an acknowledgement of the interconnectedness of all beings and a recognition of the blessings that arise from our relationships with others, nature, and the world. Gratitude is a way of being, a way of living that invites us to open our hearts and minds to the abundant gifts of life. It transforms our perspective, allowing us to see the world through a lens of appreciation and joy, rather than lack and dissatisfaction. By incorporating gratitude into our daily routine, we cultivate a deeper sense of peace, contentment, and connection with ourselves, others, and the world around us. It is a powerful tool for creating a life of fulfillment, harmony, and spiritual growth. These 10 Buddhist habits are not just practices. They are transformative tools that can lead you towards self-mastery, inner peace, and profound personal growth. They help us shift our attention from the distractions of the external world to a place of clarity, balance, and purpose within. By embracing these practices, we can create a life filled with mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom. Remember, the path to transformation isn't about striving for perfection. It's about embracing the process of continuous learning and growth. Each small step, no matter how simple, is a step closer to becoming the best version of yourself. Over time, these habits build a solid foundation for a life filled with peace, understanding, and connection. Which of these habits will you start incorporating into your daily life today? This is your opportunity to take the first step on a journey that leads to a deeper connection with yourself, with others, and with the world around you. If this video resonated with you, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more content on mindful living. Share in the comments which habit you plan to focus on, and let's support each other on this journey. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.